The Arica Chilean challenge is extremely important for the APB.
Welcome everybody, Manny V here with David Hubbard, aka Dub, and we're bringing you the live feed from the 2017 Arica Chilean Challenge. Today is going to be crazy. Actually, Dub, give us the lowdown on what's going on in the water.
So we got a new swell in the water, and it's pretty clean and organized. We're seeing some really hollow, solid lefts and rights barreling, huge lunar ramps as well. So we likely to see some incredible action. We're going to be going into round number 3, and if we get that done and still have time, we'll move on into round number 4, but this should be insane for round number 3 action.
Four-man heats in round number 3. Top 2 advance. Top 2 waves are scored, and only 2 will advance on. 2 will get eliminated from the contest and call it the end of the road here for the Arica Chilean Challenge. And all these heats are stacked. We have the winners from round number 1, and the second and third place are in the winners from round number 2, combining together to make round number 3. So all of these guys are hungry.
Yeah, they're all fired up for sure, and everybody's walking up to Exisla Lacran today, seeing that swell looming, seeing those huge waves crashing all over Flopos, and everybody's getting pretty excited. You can almost feel the energy. It's almost palpable.
Now's the time to send an Instagram message, Facebook tweet, or whatever. Let everybody know we are going live. This is going to be pretty incredible to watch these guys in some pretty heavy conditions. I mean, I can look over my shoulder. You know what? Let's show you guys what's going on out in the water as that first heat gets ready to rock and roll. Let's go to the wide shot of what we have going on here. Round number 3, heat number 1. Who do we got on tap?
We got Tanner McDaniel, we got Antonio Cardoso, we got Roberto Bruno, and David Barbosa. And our riders are trucking, and they are making their way close to the lineup there. So I do expect a start to be coming in within just about a couple minutes. I'd say we're pretty close to a 1 or 2 minute start. There's, you can see what our riders are going to be dealing with on screen, and this is a pulled back shot, so that wave was easily 6 foot high. That would probably be about 12 to 15 foot on the wave face, and I would be expecting some of these sets to be clocking in somewhere in the 20-foot face range. So it's solid out there. We have the light offshore breeze phenomenon that we had even yesterday. So it's really clean, really good conditions. We are fired up. Coming on screen, Noria Films master Cristobal, who's been putting together some awesome highlight edits. If you haven't checked the highlights, make sure you do so. They're up on our website as well as the Facebook page.
Yes, APB Tour Facebook page is where it's the door for you to come in and join us here in the commentators booth. I will post something on the APB Tour asking where you at, and that's when you can write down your comment and just tell me where you're at. Don't write a novel on what you're experiencing. We just want to be able to go down the list and give shout outs to all of you that are tuning in from all over the world. So give me about 2 minutes and I'll do that straight off the bat. I would love to know where everybody is watching from. And if you're watching from any one of the bars that are showcasing the event on their big screen TVs, please have a drink for me.
And let us know the establishment, because whether you're watching in secret, as Manny tries to get you to do, or watching in public, we love the businesses that are displaying this live webcast.
Wow, before I couldn't even post anything, Steve Action Jackson is tuning in from Posto Cinco in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So, Jackson, we miss you here in Chile, but we know good things are on the horizon for you, brother. And it looks like we do got 1 minute to go. And holy mackerel, that thing is massive. That is probably one of the biggest waves I've seen to roll through. Easily 15, 20-foot faces on that thing. It's going to be really exciting to see who is going to pull out in front and who is going to charge on some of the biggest waves in the competition so far.
Yeah, and, it's going to be insane to watch, because there are a few left-handers that are available. The rights are definitely a safer option, not only to approach the waves, but also to paddle back out. But it does look like we're counting down the first heat. And the horn in the background signals the start of the first heat, around number 3 here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. We already have a rider up.
Oh,
Take
my.
a look at Antonio up on this massive right-hander. quick little check turn to get started.
Oh my
And now
goodness.
he's approaching a section, hoping to get some flight. Ends up with a simple spin move. And he's going to find a little move on the very, very end of that. But, you know, by that time, we're turning our attention back to the peak. So we're hoping our riders are going to be doing big moves right off the peak. There's some open barrels out there as well. So we're really excited about the opportunity to see some big barrels.
Antonio Cardoso drawing first blood out there in the first heat of the day. He's no stranger to the big waves. Actually comes from Praia del Norte in Portugal. And he just loves the big stuff. He's no stranger to dropping into waves even twice as big as that. So it's going to be pretty interesting how this all pans out. Tanner McDaniel from Hawaii, he loves the big stuff, and he's probably not going to be afraid to hit the lip at all as well. Roberto Bruno, the Brazilian, big wave rider. Actually, this is a pretty stacked heat. Every heat in round number 3 is going to be pretty incredible. David Barbosa in the black jersey, he is no stranger to he's not going to hold back at all. And we got the high-flying antics of the Pelicans that will be sweeping through and giving everybody a Pelican escort, hopefully through some of the deep barrels.
Imagine party waving with a pillow and watching it flap its little wings next to you in the barrel, catching its wingspan draft, and just as the spit ejects both of you out, just getting a
That would be insane.
little high five from the wing of the Pelican, just like, ting, and then it just flies off into eternity. Wow.
That could happen.
Is that what you were dreaming of, Manny? Are you still half asleep?
I'm always half asleep, but that's okay. Right now, we are wide awake, though, in the commentator's booth, and hopefully you're all tuning in to watch this incredible action. You know what? Let's see how many people are tuning in live. We posted something on our Facebook page, APB Tour, and what are you guessing? 6,000, 7,000 people tuning in?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting close to 5 digits.
I'm going to say probably even more than that. We know 2 people, or will be 3 people.
Manu from Sintra. And
Jason Ricky from Costa Rica, and Hilder Houston. Those 3 have always been on cue as far as being the top 10, in the top 10 of tuning in. Look at how beautiful it is out there. Conditions are perfect. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes before we give a couple shout-outs, but look at that right there. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, these waves are slabbing, and this is definitely like the conditions that we missed last year in last year's edition of the Arica Chilean Challenge. We didn't get a massive swell during last year's edition, and so a lot of the riders, not necessarily disappointed because the waves are still radical, but they were waiting for something a little bit more like this. And, you know, a lot of people, when they think of the Arica Chilean Challenge, they think of these conditions, and we got them today. It's massive. There's I'd call it, 8-foot Hawaiian, 20-foot faces, and it's just radical.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a 10-point ride yesterday from the Chilean Sasha Damianic, who just dropped into this super low tide dredging barrel and came out with a spit. And if you watch the highlights, you'll see that he almost loses it inside of the barrel, but was able to maintain and get the only 10-point ride of the day and of the event so far. But I'm seeing a 10-point ride for sure today to be had. I'm calling it right now.
Calling it. I love the pre-claim. I hope we do see tons of rides into the excellent range, and hopefully a couple perfect scores coming through.
I'm going to go one step further. The rider who's going to get the 10 will be wearing a yellow jersey.
Whoa. Radical claim. So that's either going to be Roberto Bruno, PJ Tartak, PLC. Oh, there's your shoe-in. Miguel Rodriguez, Brahim Deutsch, or Alan Munoz. Okay, we got a solid list of 6 competitors who will be donning that yellow jersey throughout round number 3. And that's a solid call. I love it. And you know what? That's great. That's awesome. I think we're going to see some rad stuff from every colored jersey. probably every rider in every heat is going to be putting it on the line and just charging it. Let's take a look at Tanner McDaniel. He's kicking into this one. He's found a kind of a medium, a little bit of an insider, but he's drawing a speed line. He's checking, just burning off a little bit of speed, punches a roll underneath the lip there, and dives out. So, quick start for Antonio Cardoso and Tanner McDaniel in the first heat, round number 3. These are 30-minute heats. We've seen it pumping, pretty consistent since we showed up this morning. We're hoping for plenty of scoring opportunity for our riders in the water. Hopefully, during the 30 minutes, they'll be able to catch a handful of rides each, but it will be those top 2 scores that will either carry them on through into round number 4 or leave them hanging.
And that is the reality of it all right now. Only 2 of these riders are going to advance on, and all of these riders are capable of taking those first 2 slots. Conditions, you know what? I'm looking out into the lineup, and this is pretty interesting. You don't see the wide shot on your screen. You just see the riders, and they're sitting a little bit further, closer to the right, which is very interesting. I mean, the lefts are about maybe 30 yards to the right of your screen, and it looks like everybody's going to be opting for the right, which is going to be a little longer ride, but not many sections to be had. Here we go. Roberto Bruno, the Brazilian, on a pretty nice size bomb right here, coming in to the inside section. That's what's going to be pretty familiar on these rides, either a barrel, and he comes out of that, and then a section will probably form up on the inside, but you can see how it gets all jergly and weird. Oh, Roberto Bruno with a roll on one of the most critical parts of the section right there. It's about 3-4 feet deep.
David Barbosa out
max.
the back, having a dive out of that. So back-to-back action, flurry, and, one of those waves, I think it was the wave Roberto went right on. The left was amazing. And we see Antonio Cardoso kind of drifting just a little bit closer to the left. He was able to get some nice scores on the left yesterday. I think the fellas are going to be paying attention, and when the swells come in, shifting over if they have the opportunity. Let's see Antonio Cardoso on this right.
Antonio Cardoso from Praia del Norte, or from Portugal. Antonio Cardoso calls Praia del Norte home, the big waves over there. So this is more fun than anything, but he knows he's in a competition, so he has to put something together on each one of these waves. That will help him pull ahead, but 2 solid scores. It's going to be pretty insane how everything unfolds today. 30-minute heats, and we got the lifeguard on the jet ski on the outside. We have the lifeguards on the beach, and we actually have some spotting lifeguards here, spotters on the tower. 2 of them making sure that all competitors, anybody who touches the water, are safe and sound. So amazing.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Let's take a look at Tanner McDaniel. He's out the back. He's kicking into this one. He's opting on the right. He's going to come over that big hump and then move on into this kind of secondary formation of the wave. He stalls, and now he's going to try to hope for a speed line up to a big ramp. Gets a nice clean roll there, and he's hoping for maybe one more lip maneuver and has to dive out there. Mistimed, but the inside section continues to get even more bumpy as you ride along the wave. More disturbance on the wave face.
Look at this. Taking a look. And it is David Barbosa in the black jersey. Look how massive this wave is. It's going to line up for him. Again, he's going to get past that first section to drive into this inside section. Oh my goodness, getting the axe right on the head. Judges are going to be looking. Not the judges, but of course they're going to be looking, but the lifeguards here in the tower are going to make sure he's okay. There he is. He comes up. That is exactly what you don't want to do. Try to straighten out. He looks okay.
Boy, I'd love to see a replay.
goodness.
A fascinating choice of lines that he drew through that section. I was thinking he was going to get shacked. There's a split second where I thought he was going to cut out. And then when he didn't cut out, I thought, okay, he's going to shoot the curl. But no.
He just got the guillotine from Flopos, the Flopos guillotine. And so lucky for us that he is okay, because this is all rock bottom on the outside and on the inside. And wow, look at this thing just rolling.
We got
through.
monsters out the back. That wave's getting closer to 10-foot Hawaiian, maybe even a little bit bigger. 10-foot backs, I should say. So, I mean, we might even see some 25-foot faces
Oh my gosh.
here today. Whoa, monster set coming through. Treacherous. We're going to see this wave splash up over the wall.
Whoa, run for
And
cover. Grab the cameras.
Everybody's running for cover, and people are grabbing their drone and running around. And for one of the first times, the Falapianos clubhouse is kind of getting drenched. Here we're just taking a look. Our cameraman there had to quickly dart away. As you can see, the cable now is getting readjusted. He's found a safe spot behind a smaller little wall. Looks like there's some debris being thrown up onto the roadway here.
I hope that generator's turned off. We don't want water near that thing when it's live. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Arica Chilean Challenge 2017. It is big, it is heavy, and it is exactly what the viewers and riders are asking for. Man, it is going off. The rights are pumping. The lefts are actually looking really, really good right now. I'm waiting to see who will be the first to drop in on the lefts that are throwing and guttering.
Few and far between on the lefts, but I think they will be worth the risk if you can get an open exit, because I think there's no doubt if you take off on the left, you're probably going to get shacked. You're almost going to be forced to pull in if you take off at the peak. So it'll just really come down to if you can get out and escape the tube.
Not only that, if you do come out and a bomb comes in, you may end up getting caught inside with big waves just dumping on your head and annihilating you and pulling you closer into more of the shallow rocks. You don't want to be there.
No, not at all. And the current will just suck you right into the Tortuga. Let's take a look at Roberto Bruno. He's up on this right-hander. It's stretching out way ahead of him. See if he commits.
Oh
Yes,
my.
he does. He's burning through this section. He's hoping for something. He ends up just kind of shifting around that sector, and now he's going to ditch out of that wave. So, again, just such a fascinating line that David Barbosa drew into that big old stomper of a section. Looks like he's getting a solid neck massage. Hopefully we can see a replay. What do we got? We got some shout-outs.
We're going to start off from the bottom of the list here. Again, if you want some shout-outs, let us know where you're tuning in from. Just let us know where you are watching. And here we go. From the bottom, we got Galdo DK Gomez tuning in from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Galdo. See you in Sintra.
Of course, going for PJ. Wow. Wow, look at the riders. I don't know if you can see the riders going out for
Oh,
the
and that left was an absolute cracker. Just rolling off screen. But we got a massive set coming in. Looks like no
goodness.
takers on this one. And again, another incredible left. That one would have been just a little more challenging to escape from, but possible. So I'm excited to see these guys charge the left for sure. Okay. These guys are just letting this set roll on underneath them. The riders in the next heat are fired up and making their approach. I think most, if not everybody today, is going to be paddling out from the right. So they're going to walk along Exisla Alacran to where the island is connected to the mainland by the artificial isthmus. And they will be entering the water there and making a long paddle out from the right-hander. So just amazing, amazing stuff as we are just into the first heat of round number 3, first heat of the day. And we've got tons and tons of action. for the next several hours. So we've got 3 hours of round number 3. Half-hour heats. We're in heat number 1. And we're pumped. We're pumped to bring you insane action. All right, we got our riders. They have definitely moved over a little bit more. Hopefully that seal will pop up on screen. But out the back, a little paddle from yellow. No takers. Let's see where these riders wind up. I think we're going to have a taker coming on this one. Tanner McDaniel with priority. Kicks into this one, but ends up not catching it. He loses priority. He probably made a good call because that wave stretched out just a little bit too far in front from where he was. So interesting. The set actually sucked these guys more over to the left. And now they're sitting pretty deep on the right. And we see them kind of adjusting now.
Let me attack this list. We got Carl in Perth, Australia. Good on you, mate. We got Dominic in Oahu. Roberto is in Puerto Rico. The Puerto Ricans are wide awake, rooting for their very own PJ Tartak, who will be coming up next in heat number 2. He'll be facing off against the aerial master here at Flopos, Jacob Romero, Tristan Roberts from South Africa, and Diego Sepulveda. So if you guys or if you're in South Africa to watch Tristan, get the word out. If you're in Puerto Rico to watch PJ, get the word out. I'm sure all the Chileans are tuning in. And Jacob Romero, the Hawaiians, are tuning in. Adrian, Perth, Australia. We have Luke in South Oz, Knights Beach. SABC, he says what's up to Dub and Manny V.
Yeah.
James Clayton in Cape Town, and Hildar Houston tuning in as well. Good to see you. James Wollongong. Sean is in Cape Town. Stephen Kirkman.
They're tuning in because in heat number 3, we're going to have their very own Joshua Burgette Kirkman representing Australia.
Steve and Vicky Kirkman, Forster, Australia, tuning in. Dawn, 2 a.m. on the island of... In Hawaii, Don McDaniel tuning in. Grant in Cape Town, South Africa. Shane in Forster. Cole is in Cape Town. Oh, wow. All the South Africans are wide awake and tuned in, cheering on my cousin, Jacob Romero, from vacation. In the Mykonos, Greece, is Brandon Kakayorin. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry, Brandon. Mafus is tuned in from Java. Tanner, what's up? Going for Tristan. Ben is in France. Bonjour. Javier is in Puerto Rico. Aiden in Cape Town. Chad in West Oz. If you want some shout-outs, you got to be a little bit quicker on your finger tapping or the keyboard because there's a long list. And if you want shout-outs, you got to be one of the first ones. I'll give you a heads up before we put that on our APB Tour Facebook page. Again, thank you all for tuning in.
Oh, wow. This is getting unreal. There's even some spectators starting to dance and prance on the wet street down here. They are pumped. That's the Flopianos crew. Does look like they were able to invite cameraman up into the second story of their makeshift building. There's the fellow dancing by the refuse container.
I just don't think he slept last night. He had a little bit of the local bar juice down the road. So, but you know what? He's having a good time, and we're going to have a good time here. So check this out. We got Aiden and the Grom camps at Bali Bodyboarding giving a shout out, all watching the live feed.
So sick.
Yeah, he's got a pretty epic thing going on down there. Where else can you get? Wait a second,
take a
David
look.
Barbosa up and riding.
He chooses this right. Another amazing left-hander just screams by, but wow, David Barbosa forcing a roll on the transitionary sector there, and he punches a big roll on that cleanup section. Whoa, if he rides out of that, I think he's going to get some solid scores, but no, it just overtakes him.
Oh, I see hard balls right there. I'm looking at the photo Aiden sent over, and it looks like they're ordering pizza to watch the show, but everybody has their own large pepperoni pizza on their laps.
Gangsters. And that is Softy in the corner, and there's even a couple topless fellas. Let's take a look at Antonio Cardoso. He's screaming down the line on this one. He's hoping for a section. He's probably going to just burn through the whole right-hander and end up cutting out as he does. And out the back, another massive set cranking. That left did shut down, so finally a left that was not incredibly insane. But no lefts to be taken yet in this heat. We got Tanner McDaniel in the lead on a pair of fours. Roberto Bruno with a 6, the highest score of the heat so far. But Tanner's the only one with a backup score above a 1. So let's see what transpires in the next several minutes.
And I don't know if the Groms in bodyboarding know that they're sitting with the very first Arica Chilean champion, Ryan Hardy, who won it back in 2004 against an incredible final against Jeff Hubbard, the Hawaiian. So, hey, Grom sitting around hardballs, I say you give him shake his hand and throw a couple of pepperonis on his pizza. Here we go, up and riding, Tanner McDaniel.
Oh, this ride's starting to look pretty sweet. Tanner's going to check turn. He's going to sit up in that power spot. Now he's going to release that speed, come on through, fling a little forward, and a little off kilter as he just gets flung off the back there. So a little bit of a missed opportunity from Tanner, but good effort. Anyways, we love those flyaways. And here's just a little look of the scenario. There's some hands in that corner. That's Manny and myself. And we are here at the Arica Chilean Challenge.
Pretty epic conditions, and here's
we got Begonia right here and Manny right here.
Not if we need more camera time, right? Jeez. But yeah, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Arica Chilean Challenge waves are going off, and lucky for us, we do get a front row seat here to the action on some heavy conditions. If you haven't already done so, download 2 apps. 1, the APB Tour app. You will be able to get live scores, watch the feed, and get some info on some of your favorite riders. And look at this out the back in yellow, Roberto Bruno, the Brazilian.
He's been waiting to back up his first score for quite some time now. He's going to throw a spin. He's now approaching a pretty solid section. Let's see if he's able to punch a nice roll there. Clean maneuver. And he's just going to skeeter out of that one. Roberto Bruno is going to move into the lead of the heat. Antonio Cardoso out the back. Look at this, man. He's setting up.
Yeah. Getting a little shack under the pocket right there. Comes out clean, looks back, and skips out of that wave. I'm really interested to see if he did anything on the outside.
I think he just set up for the 2, but we will. We're still working on getting those replays. It is a little early, so some of the staff super sleepy and groggy, not getting us any replays just yet. But hopefully we can start working on those replays. And there's a bit of the carnage on the street. A lot of rocks getting thrown up onto the street.
Oh,
that was a big wave. Here's the ambulance crew in their lifted Suburban. And there's the Union Flopos clubhouse.
Look at the backdrop. Oh, wait, look at this. Right in your foreground, Tanner McDaniel.
Oh, gosh.
Up the section. What do you see?
Huge ramp coming. Is he going to hit it? And he has to dive out. We've got a massive set out the back. Oh, and it looks like it may be catching David Barbosa. Ooh. He may have just gotten under it. Not totally sure, but oh my goodness, Manny, it is crankulating. Tanner got quite washed in, which is probably okay.
So it looked like
first replay of the day.
Nice. We'll
Loving
take it.
We'll take it. So this is Antonio Cardoso. He's setting up for that tube, stalls, and now he drives. So these rights have been open throughout the morning, and that offers potentially one of the better scores that we've seen of the heat. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for him to move into first. I think Roberto Bruno is in the lead right now on the strength of a 6.75 and a 6. Antonio did get a 6 for his barrel. He's now sitting in second. Tanner needs only a 5.86 to get back into an advancing position, and he is needing, David Barbosa needing a 5.26. Under 5 minutes remaining now, and it's getting crunch time. Tanner got washed way in. It's going to take him several minutes to get back out, but he may get out just in time to take one more go. And David Barbosa, we're trying to find him in the fray. I think he did survive that cleanup set and just got under it, but caught him right on the edge.
Wow. That is what you see on your screen. I'm trying to just make sure, get our marbles all squared away. 8.36 for Tanner McDaniel is what he needs for first place. What he needs for second place, as Dub mentioned, is a 5.86. David Barbosa, he only needs a 5.26 to get into that second place spot. So Antonio Cardoso, you better be careful and try to use that priority with that second priority to make sure that Tanner McDaniel or David Barbosa don't have that opportunity to get a pretty obtainable 5-point ride.
Wow, this is so exciting, Manny. Oh, I'm just wiggling in my seat here, and we're just stoked. There's a drone operator thinking about the flight paths. Not sure if he's going to chuck that thing into the air or not, but this is the contest site this year, and some great graphics. We've got great imagery from previous rides. Let's take a look at David Barbosa. Up and riding. He's in fourth spot. Doesn't need much to move into first, but he has completely passed the part of the way that will offer any points. He's going to just continue doing spins. They're not going to help him whatsoever. But he may even go on into the inside section. And, you know, the distance that he rode it, it's unlikely he's going to get another opportunity. So, tough run. But Tanner McDaniel may be able to just get out there if he keeps muscling, if he doesn't just kind of cruise, if he really hustles and works at it. In the next 2 minutes, he may be able to get another score. But he's going to be in third priority, and the heat leaders, yellow and white, Roberto and Antonio, are in first and second priority. So Tanner basically needs to catch one that they let go or wait for 3 waves to come in, and he can maybe catch the third if they take the first 2.
1 minute 40 seconds. Tanner McDaniel, 5.86. David Barbosa, 5.26. Those are the numbers they need. Those are the scores they need on their next wave. And Tanner looks like he is pretty much back in position, but it is Antonio Cardoso and Roberto Bruno with priority 1 and 2 respectively. They have the 8 ball in their hands. Tanner McDaniel is going to have to figure out how to catch a wave without priority from these 2 riders.
And it might be quieting down. A lot of waves have come in. We're just seeing the wall angle.
Oh, my.
There's the memorial just off screen now. But that's what it looks like looking back towards El Moro. And and that was our camera guy in the wide pole shot. That was cool. So you got a little glimpse.
You better be careful because the water is coming up all the way up to the wall.
Okay, this could be Tanner's last chance, but Antonio is looking to block him. So Antonio sitting in seconds, up and riding on this wave. And he's going to throw a nice roll. Does look like yellow's going on this, so Tanner's
20 seconds.
Going to have to hope for one more wave behind.
20 seconds.
Roberto Bruno stalling, waiting for something, and does find a cute little forward off the lip. And it does look like the ocean's real quiet. Roberto Bruno and Antonio Cardoso making it on through into round number 4.
Wow, Tanner McDaniel unfortunately wasn't able to summon the wave gods for that one last wave, and the priority of Roberto Bruno and Antonio Cardoso worked in their favor. Ladies and gentlemen, the 30-minute heats in round number 3 are incredible right now. Heat number 2 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the 2017 Arica Chilean Challenge. Dave Hubbard with Manny V, of course. We are into round number 3 of the main event, and it's cranking. And we did miss some stuff during the commercials. We'll try to bring you replays, but let's not miss any more and just go right into the action out in the water. We did see Diego Sepulveda pull a beautiful ARS just a moment ago, and Antonio Cardoso as well, getting a nice barrel on the right.
Out in the water, we're going to see Jacob Romero in the red jersey. Tristan Roberts from South Africa will be wearing white. And in the yellow jersey, the Puerto Rican PJ Tartak from Chile. Causing kind of an upset yesterday, taking out Dudu Pedra and Dino Carmo. It's Diego Sepulveda in the black jersey from Chile. So very fun to watch. Diego Sepulveda for sure is somebody to watch. He is no stranger to the big stuff. And look at that on your screen, a 9-point ride. That is hopefully going to come down into the replay section. But wow, what a great start to this second heat of round number 3. 30-minute heats. Top 2 waves are scored. Only 2 riders of the 4 will advance on into the next round. Oh my goodness, this is a pretty incredible showdown, and here it is. Look at this. David Sepulveda with a ginormous ARS. I thought it was dusted right there, but look at that. Appears and claims that as he comes around. Pretty incredible ride on a pretty sizable wave.
Yeah, that was a big section to hit. Pulled it off nice and clean. Landed it so quickly. That was terrific, and I'll tell you one thing. Union Flopos Clubhouse went ballistorical.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. You can hear them cheering, and Diego looking very solid to get one step closer, not only to the next round, but also looking really sharp to possibly pull off a win here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. We had a Peruvian in 2005, Cesar Bauer, going head-to-head in the final with Jeff Hubbard, but in the end, Jeff Hubbard took the win in that event. So the Chileans, can they make their mark and pull off a win here in their own backyard?
Could this be the year? Oh, man. It's Totally possible. And if it goes down, everybody's going to say, long time coming. So we'll have to wait and see. But I tell you one thing, couple of frothing fellows coming on in. Roberto Bruno, Antonio Cardoso. We'll talk to Roberto after his win. And, you know, a couple guys who aren't so stoked coming on in. Poor Tanner's been one of the standout performers, not only of the competition thus far, but also the free surfs. Definitely had my eye on him to produce a massive show.
Yesterday, yeah. If you haven't seen the highlights, probably one of the biggest moves I've seen. Unfortunately, he didn't pull it off, but a slow rotating backflip from Tanner McDaniel definitely made the highlight reels and will pop up in the photos, of course, for the next day or so. But wow, I'll tell you what, taking over the social media will be all the action that is going to be going down today as some of the biggest waves of the contest going down right here. Look at this, paddling in. Oh my! Again, Diego Sepulveda, what's he going to do? Look at this monster. And he tries to straighten out, and he just gets careened.
So 2 heats in a row, we see crazy lines being drawn on this right-hander. Right when it looks like they're going to be able to pull into a beautiful barrel, for some reason, they choose to go straight at the perfect moment to receive the lip on their corpses. And it's just really interesting and fascinating to see the lines that are being drawn. And it was David Barbosa in black who did it in the previous heat. Now it's Diego Sepulveda still wearing the black jersey. Maybe that's a bit of a black sheep curse that these guys are just choosing to straighten out while having already committed and just receiving the full brunt of the lip crashing down. And that was just wicked. I just can't wait to see replays, and I hope both of those make the highlight reels, because those were some of the most technical and some of the most high-risk maneuvers, and they weren't pulled off.
For me, watching it on the monitor in front of us and watching it out from the top of the tower looking out, both of these don't give it, don't give it justice. Once you see the photos, I think the photos that come out, you actually see and compare the height.
Let's take a look. Ratio. Live action. We got Jacob Romero out the back. Oh, goodness. Let's see what he does. We're going to try to get you a shot of Jacob Romero's big flip that he just did. Well, we'll tell you that it was cool. Hopefully we get some replays. And, you know, just so you don't lose sleep over it, it's probably in the 5.5, 6 point range. So it wasn't the best maneuver that comp. But there you can see him on screen paddling back out. So everybody's okay in the channel. Diego's okay, having a chat with the jet ski driver. But hopefully we stay focused on the action, and we've got another taker.
We got PJ Tartak from Puerto Rico making a nice clean bottom turn straight off the bottom. Clean roll, lands perfectly. PJ finally finding his rhythm here in the big waves.
Tristan Roberts out the back, taking off on this monster.
Tristan's first wave.
Let's see as he's selected this wave as his first attempt. Gets up for a off-kilter roll, and now he's going to find one more little daffodil section to roll off of on the inside. So, whoa, super intense and just mega critical, and big waves rolling through, Manny. And I think it's playing, hey, for Diego, just got a huge score, and then caught a big wave, lots of scoring potential, and he just short-circuited. Or I don't know why he chose the line that he did, because it looked to me like he could have just blazed through that tunnel of love and gotten a sweet barrel.
I'm thinking, you know what, something I've heard it many times before, and I've experienced it. If you actually pull into barrel, it's probably safer bet to get inside of the tube than to try to outrun the lip. But I'm sure both of the riders, the Chileans in the first couple heats, had no idea that lip was coming down that fast and that hard.
Yeah, so both of those examples that we saw, David Barbosa in Heat 1, Diego Sepulveda in Heat 2, what the option that they did choose was the absolute worst possible position to put themselves in. Had they pulled into the barrel, all good. Whether they make it or not, they'll survive. But if they straighten out, get lipped on the head, big dramas, bro.
All right, check this out. We do have the winner of the last heat with Begonia. Begonia, take it away.
Thank you very much, Manny, and good morning to everyone back home. We're here with Roberto Bruno. Roberto, you were the first person to come out of the water the first heat. From the outside, it looks amazing. It looks really heavy. What can you tell us about your heat and how the conditions are out there?
É sempre uma situação complicada você ser a primeira bateria do dia num dia grande como hoje. Tem séries bem grandes aí. Então você abrir a competição é tenso, né? Porque você não sabe o que vai encontrar lá fora, não viu ninguém competindo antes, então para você ter uma estratégia é complicado. Deus me abençoou nessa bateria, mais uma vez me mandou 2 ondas e eu consegui avançar. É uma pena o David não ter passado comigo, seria sensacional uma dobradinha brasileira, mas é um moleque novo, muito talentoso e tem muita coisa pela frente. Então, da minha parte agora é seguir no campeonato, tentando fazer o meu melhor.
Well, he was saying that it's always very hard to be the first heat because you don't have, you don't know what's going on there. You cannot build a strategy, but he's very thankful to God that he got two very good waves. And well, he's a little bit sad that David Barbosa didn't make it, but he says he has a lot of future. You wanna send some regards to someone now?
Eu quero mandar mais uma vez um beijo para minha família. Amo você, meu amor, minha esposa, meus filhos, minha mãe, meus irmãos. Continue na torcida. E agradecer aos meus patrocinadores, a Genesis, a Invert Style, a Nile Story e a PF Surf School. Valeu, galera.
Well, congratulations, Parabéns, Pablo said, and let's go back to the action with you guys.
No, but very humble, very calculated, very professional rider, and giving us a terrific interview as well. But wow, during that interview, Manny and I were spectating the open ocean just unleashing fury on the reef with one thought in mind: where's GT when you need him? Here's Jacob Romero's flip. Oh, sorry, this is an invert on the right. Would have happened during the interview, perhaps. There you see little head bobbles. He's just fired up. Here's the Wicklon approach, going for a no-handed roll. And incomplete maneuver for Tristan Roberts, who's been unable to really connect with anything massive. I know that he wants to put up the biggest maneuver of the event. He pulled off one of the biggest maneuvers last year in one of the free surfs.
But what I think Tristan needs to do right now is have everybody in South Africa send the good vibes right now, because he hasn't had a good contest so far. His first heat in round number
one
was
3
not
point total.
Was not that great. And here he is having a slow start right now, and we're 18 minutes remaining in this heat. So South Africa, now's the time to beat on the drums and start sending those good vibes over to the fellow South African, Tristan Roberts. He needs some help right now as he gets a slow start in this heat number 2 of round number 3. But Jacob Romero, look at that. Scores have dropped.
6.75 and a 5.25. Beautiful dozen points that he's got in his scorecard. And Diego, is the 2.5 for the incredible straighten out in front of the lip approach? I was hoping they were giving more than a 1, because it took commitment. And it took a lack of commitment. It almost took both. Let's take a look at Tristan.
Wow, did the South Africans send the good vibes over to Tristan Roberts? We're going to find out as he lines up this inside section. As you can see, he stays really high. That's where all the speed line is. And then he lets go. And then he sees a section. No, he does not, and kicks out. So Tristan out the back. Oh, my. Eyes are all on this Hawaiian. Jacob Romero with a ton of speed. What's he going to do? Sees a section lining up, and it seems like it's not going to be there, and he presses the eject button.
Yeah, so 2 anxious moments as we watched 2 of the most high-flying riders of the last several days really push towards those big open sections, and nothing eventuated for them. So, of course, everybody remembers Jacob Romero's T-Rex invert out here, as it's been nicknamed. I believe that was in a quarterfinal against that man who's down there in Bali, Ryan Hardy. And That was one of the best waves I've probably ever seen out here at
Massive.
at Flopos. The right barreled from pretty much start to finish. Let's take a look at Diego Sepulveda, now sitting in second spot. And he's coming around. He's got a cool little spin tucked in there. See if he gets the section, but no, he dives out. So he's putting himself on some pretty good waves. He's obviously been able to get the highest score we've seen in the morning with that 9-point ride. Now he's kind of scratching to get under this one, which he does. And these heats are not disappointing with action, Manny.
Yeah, I mean, every time Jake Romero, and in this case, Diego Sepulveda, take off on a wave, everybody holds their breaths and takes a deep breath, and they kind of expect something big from these two guys when they're coming off the bottom with a ton of speed and these big lip sections. Jake Romero, I mean, he's no stranger to going high flying.
Take a look at PJ Tartak live action. He's up on this right. It may shape up and give him another opportunity for maybe a barrel or hitting the section, but no, neither. So he's out of there. Let's see out the back, another big old wave coming in, Manny.
Oh my gosh, riders, are they in position? Looks like nobody is ready to get in there and get rocking on these big right-handers. We have still yet to see anybody go left in these conditions. Where's
GT when you need him, Manny?
Jake Romero taking a look at this one. Was this a right choice to go on this wave? He will find out as he's stalling, waiting. And yeah, not much there for J-Rom. And he kicks out of there. So, wow, look at that. Diego Sepulveda sitting on his second low score. So that 3.25 is easily replaceable. It's just a matter of time, and time is of essence right now. 14 minutes remaining out of this 30-minute heat, so we're just past the halfway point.
Unreal stuff.
Beltran.
Casa Beltran, keeping everybody fueled up in the mornings. And, of course, Cafe Del Mar, keeping the event staff fueled up in the afternoons and evenings. So, terrific support from the
local establishments. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, we're ready to rock and roll. Diego Sepulveda currently in that first place spot. Jake Romero in second. PJ Tartak, the Puerto Rican. He is within striking distance. Again, top two riders will advance on into the next round. Third and fourth, unfortunately, that is the end of the road. Here we go.
Tristan Roberts is going to take a chance on this one. I tell you, he's probably frustrated enough to whack this section. Let's see if he does it. Big reverse.
Goodness.
He pulls it off clean and dives out. I loved it. I loved every moment of it, Manny.
That was what he needed to finally start his campaign going. So the South Africans.
They are getting stoked because he just got a good score. Tristan Roberts pulling one of the biggest bank reverses that I've ever seen because I didn't see a lot of air, but he pulled that maneuver off clean. Very technical.
And if you look at the replay, you'll see that where he hits the lip is not going to give him the projection, so he actually uses his own momentum to turn forward out and towards the flats of the wave and pull that reverse all the way around. If you try to use the projection of the lip, that would not have helped him, and he wouldn't have enough speed to land that perfectly.
But because of the rotation and pulling it off in front into the flats, he was able to land, continue forward momentum, and I love the quick dive out. Love that dive out. That was terrific.
And he did the dive out when he landed, after he landed, so the judges will claim that as a completed move.
Exactly. Which was critical. Had he done it a little earlier, he would have been skeptical, but he did it at the right time. So does look like scores dropping for Tristan Roberts. 6-2-5 on that beautiful bank reverse. See out the back, Diego Sepulveda, the Fallopiano himself. Everybody's going wick-night crazy as Diego tucks in and now is going to cruise over that transition section. Just a cool little pocket ride. Now he gets a roll off on the end. Is he going to pull out in front of that one? Whoa, wowzers.
Looks like one of the drones is set and off and running. The camera for some of the highlight reels. Hopefully the pilot knows what he's doing, because these waves are massive. And if the wave doesn't catch it, the amount of wind, oh my goodness. Out the back, look at this bomb. Jacob Romero coming off the bottom. Nice clean line. You can see he lifts his legs. He doesn't want to get him clipped by the lip that's breaking behind him, but not much there for Jacob Romero. That was pretty massive. What's going on out there?
That was a huge wave, and I was thinking he was slowing himself down so that maybe he could get a barrel. Oh, we got a paddle from Tris. And let's see what these guys need for second spot. Tristan Roberts needs 5.76 to go into second. PJ Tartak needs a 6.26 to go to second.
Yeah, the scores you see for third and fourth place, actually all the scores that are showing up in the needs. Oh my, Tristan coming around this section, has a ton of speed. He sees another section coming towards him. And there he is. Nice clean roll right there. Can he get out in front of the Y-wash? Man, if he tries to get in front of that, he's going to end up on the rock. So luckily he pulled back, and that will be incomplete. But, man, better incomplete than getting your face jammed into the rocks here in the shallows.
Ooh, it's happened before.
Wow, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the Arica Chilean Challenge is all about. Big, heavy barrels, huge, high-flying airs, and just on the verge of heart attack for all the spectators.
Yes, our heart rate is sporadic and erratic as we are just constantly getting our socks knocked off by the action out in the water. So, does look like Tristan getting a 3-point ride for his last wave. Diego Sepulveda in the lead, but let's take a look at PJ Tartak. Big old drop. Now he's coming into this section. It seems a little overpowering, and he dives out of that one.
6.26 is what PJ Tartak needs to get out of that fourth place position and into second place advancing position. So PJ totally within striking distance. 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Diego Sepulveda looking really solid with that 9-point ride. He can totally build on that 3.25. But look at the priorities. Now, priority has come into play for a few heats. And one heat so far today. Yes, Begonia is in the commentating booth holding up a piece of ginger saying, Manny, I see you have the sniffles. Ginger is probably the way to go. I guarantee you Steve Action Jackson, if he's watching right now, will send over his crazy recipe that he always brings to Chile. Oh, you gave it to him? So Begonia, look at this thing just reeling on the shallows here at Flopos on Isla Alecran. So a lot of the foreigners that come into town immediately try to adapt to it, but some of us are subject to the climate here, and all of a sudden get this little sniffles and congestion. And I have succumbed to that, and I'm trying to tell myself, no, you're actually going to be all right, brother. Don't worry about it.
You are going to be all right, brother.
Yeah, and my eyes are starting to water just because I'm so happy.
Hay fever.
Ginger. Okay, ginger. I'm not going to bite into that. You're crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's bring you up to speed. We have 7 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. Currently out of the water in fourth place with third priority is PJ Tartak from Puerto Rico. Needs a 6.26 for second place and a 6.51 for first place. Tristan Roberts, the South African, looking really possible to get a 5.76 for second place, but Jacob Romero looking really solid right now, and Diego Sepulveda is looking really good too. So on your screen you see the letter P followed by a number. That is what priority they have out in the water. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
And priority, just to run it down for you, is the opportunity for the riders to wait their turn. And catch the waves that they want to catch. And if they're able to wait long enough and choose a good wave, that's how they'll use their priority. Even just paddling will be a use of priority. So they got to be careful what waves they paddle for. And people will just be waiting their turns out there. And priority will mean that, whether they're in first priority, they have unimpeded right away of all waves that come in. If they're in second priority, they're going to have to yield to the rider in first priority. So it's just kind of like taking a turn, kind of like when you go to the butcher and grab that number, and then they call you to get your massive slices of processed cow flesh. That's the method. So you kind of paddle back out to the lineup, and you take your turn. You take your number, and then you wait in the queue or the line, depending on what country you're from.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's unwritten rules of etiquette, which is what happens in free surf, but here in competition priority system, look at this. Are you kidding me? Jacob Romero on another bomb right now. Currently in second place with priority, stalling, waiting for sections to roll up, but it looks like it could be running away from him as no sections are lining up for him, but he keeps steady, and there it is. There's a section. Oh, my goodness. Jacob Romero, can he pull it off? And he rides it out. Jacob Romero from Hawaii just going absolutely crazy out there. That was epic.
That was insane, Manny. I think that's going to rival the 9-point ride Diego put up early on in the heat. Although it took him a while to access that section, one did pop up way down at the end of that wave. And a beautiful air reverse from Jacob Romero, which is why he's one of the crowd favorites when the bald-bearded, super dark-skinned Hawaiian Jacob Romero walks down and accesses the water, whether it's in a heat or a free surf or coming to the contest area. He is just bombarded with photo ops. Everyone wants a selfie because he's got these big white teeth that just shine through that gristly beard, and everybody just loves him. And when he gets out in the water, he shows some incredible high-flying action like that.
I'm sure it's really early in the morning, but I'm sure his wife, Celeste, is watching. But look at this. Finds that section and a ginormous air reverse. I have no idea how he got projected so high and so far. It looked like he didn't have that much speed, but was still able. Oh, my. Is he wearing yellow? No, darn it. Jacob Romero, the first 10-point ride of the day with that big air reverse, textbook, and it is really solid. I'll back that 10-point ride for sure, but he was able to negotiate through the bumps all the way to the end section and perform a perfectly executed air reverse. So J-Rom with the first 10-point ride of the day.
And back to live action, Tristan Roberts eyeing up this section, hoping for something, has to dive out there. So, yeah, as soon as I saw that air reverse, Manny, the number did pop into my cranium, and it was just a matter of whether he landed it. And he came out of it clean, and I was anticipating a 10-point ride. Didn't want to claim it. I'm not in the judging tower per se, but I totally backed that score and was also thinking, came to a red jersey. You didn't get your claim just yet, Manny. But, hey, it could come. It could come at any moment.
Well, PJ's still out there with
And PJ has a 10, but it's a 10-point total.
So I was right at 1 point.
Whoa.
2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. J-Rom with the 10-point ride. I'm still amazed how he was able to pull that thing all the way around. It's just to show you how much power is behind these waves. To be able to do what he needs on anything smaller, it's all attributes to speed, and he was able to do that just on the power of the big wave alone. But, man, it's massive here. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2017 Arica Chilean Challenge. Manny V here with David Hubbard, a.k.a. Dub. And we have Begonia as well doing the interviews down on the beach. But, man, look at the lefts are starting to fire
Where's
off.
GT when you need him? That was one of the best lefts I've seen in years out here, and it just spit its guts out. GT, where you at, brother?
Guilherme Tamega is who GT we're referring to. But Guilherme Tamega, one of the most iconic bodyboarders to come here and claim a legendary status as he was able to pull off one of the biggest moves. But right now, Jacob Romero flying high. Again, here he is, waiting for that big section. And no, runs out of room, runs out of sections, and runs out of the wave.
So not much time remaining in this heat. It does look like Jacob Romero is ready to move on through into round number 4. Diego Sepulveda is still looking solid on the strength of that 9 and a 3.25. So, you know, Tristan and PJ are comboed out of first, but Diego Sepulveda just needs to better a 3.25 to put more pressure on white and yellow, Tristan Roberts and PJ Tartak. So
we definitely want to see that replay of that 10-point ride. So I don't know if the production guys downstairs can hear us, but yeah, that another look at that 10-point ride would be amazing from Jacob Romero. Huge wave, waited all the way to the last section of that wave and just pulled off a textbook air reverse like nothing.
And what was so wonderful was it was surprising how much projection he got, how clean the rotation was, and how smooth the landing was.
Well, hopefully we'll see that when we get back. If not, we will see it in the highlights. So Jacob Romero and Diego Sepulveda advance on into the next round. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Here we are back at the Arica Chilean Challenge, and we're just rattlesnaked up here in the booth. We're just baffled. Jacob Romero, 10-point ride. So let's get out into heat number 3 of round number 3 out in the water. Let's just get straight into it out there as we've got another awesome heat on our hands.
I'm trying to fuel up right now because it's going to be pretty much action-packed all day. So let's go out into the action. Oh, my goodness.
We've got Alex Uranga from País Basco, Eder Luciano from Brazil, PLC from France, and Joshua Burguete Kirkman, originally hailing from Australia, but now calling Sweden home. So the Aussie Swede with a hyphenated last name is the only Australian representing in the main event. So we know that there's at least a whole continent, possibly 1.25 continents rooting for Joshua Burguete Kirkman. But of course, PLC got to be a fan favorite coming into this event with so much of the imagery of last year's Arica Chilean Challenge. Huge air reverses, of course, reigning world champion, and he is in the yellow jersey. We do have Eder Luciano from Brazil, no stranger to Arica by any means. He's been able to put some solid results down here in the past. And Alex Uranga, who has just been on a fury throughout the last several years, putting himself up on top of the list of world's best bodyboarders.
If any heat is stacked, it's this one. I mean, we got former world champion, PLC, Alex Uranga from the Basque Country. Wow, there he is. I don't know if we got a camera. If we got a camera to go on Jacob Romero, even though before his interview. That was his first one, did he say?
He said that was his first perfect 10.
Oh my, so Jacob Romero super amped right now. First perfect 10 in his life.
Of his career.
Oh my goodness. So J-Rom super stoked right now. Now out in the water again, 30-minute heats. Top 2 waves will be scored. The sum of those 2 waves will give the rider a total score. The ones with the 2 top high scoring totals will advance on into the next round. 30 minutes seems like a lot, but when you have 4 people out there, it's just time can get away from you. Those 2 top scoring waves, those are really, really tough to get when you have 4 people out there. But with the consistency and the big waves here at Flopos, totally possible, totally doable, even 10-point rides.
Even 9s and 10s are being dropped as soon as heat number 2, as early as heat number 2, I should say. But that could be continuing on throughout the rest of the round. Big scores. That was just so sick. And now there's a drone in the air. We're getting Jacob set up for the interview. Can't wait to hang on every word that comes out of his mouth, because he's just going to be letting his beard shake. And I'm sure we're going to see those big white teeth just grinning on through. And wow, so cool. Everybody was giving him applause as he walked up the road and back to the comp site. And you know, we talked about him being a crowd favorite, and I think he just secured himself as the crowd favorite for the next several years as well.
Yeah, that will be coming up right now, waiting patiently on the waves here. Our riders out in the water, still waiting for those first waves to come to be caught. So I think we are ready for the interview with Jacob Romero and Begonia. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Manny. It looks like I'm interviewing this Jacob Romero here, not the real one. Jacob, oh my God, what a fluency on that reverse. That was amazing. You pulled it out like if it was nothing. What can you say about that?
Growing up in Maui, like we got right-handers like this at Honolulu, so I saw it coming and it reminded me of home, but just cold water. So I was like, the lip actually did all the whole thing, and I just had to go up and rotate, and I just felt like I was back at home just with a full suit on. So I was stoked to get that wave. It's pretty tricky out there, real bumpy and big and raw. So yeah, I was stoked to get that one and a backup score, and the local Diego was ripping, so he put up a good battle.
Well, do you want to send some regards right now?
For sure. Aloha to my family, my wife, my friends, my fans all over the world. Thank you for supporting the APB, and yeah, can't wait to surf my next heat. That was my first 10 in my life, by the way. Yes, sir.
So congratulations for that. Oh, it's going to be something to remind for sure. Okay, well, also back to you guys with the action.
Good.
Stoked. Jacob Romero super stoked on his performance, and I think everybody on the beach was amped too. Great interview from Bego, and now he's going to get an interview from the hot breather himself of the event. So let's just get right back out into the live action. Still no rides yet ridden for our competitors in round 3, but heat 3. It does look like Alex did get a ride, so 5-point ride coming in for Alex, and a wave coming in for Joshua Brigitte Kirkman, 1.5.
We do have 2 waves ridden so far. Alex Uranga and Josh did catch a wave. You can see it on your score right there, 1.50. We've seen him just streak across the face of the wave and hop along on that inside second. But look at that drainer right there on your screen. Again, thank you all for tuning in from all over the world. Whoa! My good friend and fellow Mexican bodyboarder and photographer, Christopher Corona, is watching from Ensenada, Baja California Norte, Mexico. What's up, brother? One of these days I will go with you to the infamous Isla Natividad, but I don't know when that will happen. Here's a look at Josh Kirkman's first wave at 1.5. As you can see, nothing really lined up for him right here. That section just gets bigger and bigger as you come down there, but as you can see, the tide is changing. It's getting a little bit more bumpy on that inside section. And look at this. This was Alex Uranga's first.
Oh, that was insane. Fakey reverse, just a quick cut check, and then came down here to the inside where he did this, Manny.
Nice extended roll, and that was his 5-point ride. 5-point ride for Alex Uranga on his first wave. But nice, beautiful wide angle right here. And the next rider in black going out there, Joshua Toledo, the Chilean. You saw him run across the foreground. David Hubbard still amping right now on J-Rom. Super pumped for fellow Hawaiian rider from Maui is Jacob Merrill with his first and the event's first 10-point ride of the day.
Yeah, so awesome to see. First 10-point ride for an aerial of this event. Our 10-point ride yesterday was from a solid throaty barrel. And the local Flopiano coming on in. He's pumped too. Diego Sepulveda, he made it through that last heat, and he's got the rest of this city cheering him on as he's one of the few locals left in the draw.
Yeah, just a quick recap on what has happened in this elimination round. Round number 3, 4-man heats. So far, moving on into the next round, was out of that first heat was Roberto Bruno and Antonio Cardoso, the Brazilian and Portuguese riders respectively, are the first to move on. But here's a look at what went down for his first wave of the heat. That was PLC, Pierre-Louis Costes, former world champion. Clocks in his first wave. You'll see his score drop on your screen momentarily. 2 other riders that advance on out of round number 3 we saw in heat number 2 was Jacob Romero and the Chilean Diego Sepulveda. So far, a Hawaiian, Brazilian, Portuguese, and a Chilean move on into the next round. Out in the water right now. We'll find out who. Oh, the first left of the day. Alex Uranga from the Basque Country. What can he do? He's a little check turn right there. I don't know if that helped him out. Actually, the wave did not form up, but there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A little, the bar has been set as far as what to expect on the left-hand waves. The first, what's going on, Begonia?
Chewing ginger.
Oh, she's chewing ginger to avoid what I have with the sniffles. But Alex Uranga, the first rider to go left today here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. And why do you think that is?
Well, high risk, difficult to read. The left is actually just super challenging to read, and so hard to pick them. Big sets coming in, solid walls, and then the risk of not only getting smoked on the wave that you take off on, but waves behind catching you inside. So a lot of risk for the left-hand rides, and a lot easier to just sit on the side of that big peak, pick off these right-handers, and scoot on down, catch sections, and make their way back out. So that's why that was the first left that we've seen so far. Does look like Alex Leon putting on yet another hat, doing the live beach announcing, giving scores to the riders out in the water and the situation and priority updates. So as if he was not doing enough already, picked up another hat. So you were saying to download 2 apps. We mentioned one, the APB app, and the other one, Manny?
The other one is the Journey Bodyboard by You Riding Games. Apple Store and Google Play Store. type in the Journey bodyboard and download the only epic bodyboarding game app on your phone or tablet for either Android or Apple. It's pretty fun. We got new graphics. A lot of the old school players are having a little trouble adjusting to the new controls, but I think it's just a matter of time before they love it as much as the old version. Better graphics, a lot more camera angles, and they better get used to it because this Sunday here in Arica will be the first ever the Journey Bodyboard video game tournament at Yo-Yo Surf House. Only 16 spots, $100 for first place, $50 for second place. Now's the time to download it and start practicing if you're here in Arica. And we're also going to do it at the Antofagasta event as well.
How much does it cost to enter this event?
$0. Free to enter, and you will get $2,000 you riding cash for showing up and competing.
So, well, if there's 16 spots, if there's still a space available, please make sure to add a name to that list, and it's probably going to be Tanner McDaniel.
All right. Hola, amigos. Si están mirando aquí en Chile. Oh, ahí vamos.
Okay, we got Ed Luciano up and riding. He's going to pick a cute little forward off the top of that one. Just pranced through the lip there, and now he exits the lip on that one.
Amigos, si están mirando aquí en Arica o van a ver aquí en Antofagasta, hold on, PLC, up and riding.
All right. Big rule.
Nice.
Big.
Wow. Alex Leon is on the mic, and he is by far the best CEO the APP has ever seen.
Yeah. No,
But
yeah,
he
well,
may
yeah.
have to take a couple classes on beach commentary or his Spanish slang.
He's definitely just following what he's heard said here for the last several days from Mono. Terrific beach announcer. Let's take a look at this one. We've got a wave out the back. Critical ride, and it's Joshua Bergietti Kirkman. Comes, checks, turns up the top. Wow, if he commits to hitting this, Manny, we're going to be loving it. But he pulls into the barrel instead, and we still enjoyed it.
Not able to come out of that one, Josh Kirkman. Let's see. Para mí, 3. Oh, amigos. Mire, si están mirando aquí en Arica o si van a estar en Antofagasta, si juegan el juego U-Riding, voy a tener una... here's another look at Eder Luciano. Clean forward. Was able to get a little projection, and then PLC's nice big roll right there. So solid wave exchange going down as the Pelicans come in and hover around the action here.
Wonder if they're going to try to get into one of the barrels like you were dreaming about earlier.
We'll find out. But sí, amigos, si están aquí en Arica, voy a tener una competencia de U-Riding Games en la casa de Yo-Yo Surf House, domingo a las 6. Es gratis para entrar. Los primeros que llegan y entran, first come, first serve. Igual en Antofagasta voy a hablar con Arturo para comunicar y hacer una fecha para hacer una competencia de U-Riding allá también. Ahí vamos, Eder Luciano, up and riding.
He's going to throw a cut back. He's going to try to burn off some time. And this wave is just going to roll into the channel. So Alex Udonga sitting on the left, just barely making it through these massive, massive waves.
Woo, wow.
Oh, it's cranking. This one might be a wall washer.
Yeah, this is probably one of the biggest waves. If we can get a shot of the wall, the waves are going to come crashing over the wall right now. You can see PLC going up and over. Oh, my gosh. And here it comes. The second one might hit the wall. But waves are coming down the pipeline. You can see it on your screen right there. Hopefully it's better than our screen here.
So it does look like PLC now sitting in the lead, Alex Udonga in second, and Joshua and Eder outside of that advancement spot for the time being. Hoping
Perfect
for
water delivered. Got to keep hydrated. It's dry climate. I mean, we are on the coast here at the Atacama Desert, one of the biggest, driest deserts on the planet. And when you fly into Arica, it's so crazy. It looks like you're flying and landing on Mars. Such a beautiful and so different here in Arica. I have yet to go to Antofagasta. First time will be coming up in the next days. We have today's action and tomorrow's action to possibly tomorrow. We may finish today. We don't know yet, depending on the weather conditions and the climate that is going to be thrown down today. But looks like we may finish up tomorrow, and we will let you know as the day progresses.
Yeah, I think if we get the chance, we'll finish round 3 and go into round 4 and save everything else for tomorrow. But again, if we get glassy, epic conditions all day, yeah, we'd take advantage and burn right through. But take a look at this, PLC out the back. He's going to just shift himself over into the channel. Out the back, Alex Uranga flying into this one. This is a solid wave, big wall on it. There he drags his legs. Now he's hoping for a section. Finds a nice big roll and gets a big booyah roll from Alex Uranga.
No, from Alex Leon.
Well, Leon's making the booyah call on the big booyah roll that Alex Uranga did.
So Alex Uranga is clean, a huge high flying roll right there. Definitely will help get him back into that first place position. Getting rid of that 2-point ride as his second high scoring wave. As you can see, Eder and Joshua is trying to get a solid score under their belt, which is hard to do. Here's another look at Alex's last ride.
He comes up under it, pushes through, gets plenty of projection. Nice, clean maneuver. Bit of a rocky landing, but totally completed and dives out quickly. So a bit head jarring, but he was able to really pull off an awesome. And now we got out the back, Joshua Bergetti-Kirkman pulling in off the takeoff on this one, Manny. Is he going to make it out? He does. And he's coming on into this inside section. He wants to top it off, and he gets a roll on the inside. This could be the wave of the heat thus far. We just saw a situation change, and things are really heating up. We're going to be seeing a shuffleboard series on the colors and the placings.
That was insane. Not only did he come out of the doggy door on that big barrel, but he claimed it and was able to come off the bottom and pull off another maneuver. Still waiting for the scores to drop here at the Arica Chilean Challenge, but that was insane wave exchange right there between all the riders so far, looking really solid. And we're going to see some musical chairs going down right now on the screen.
That was super exciting because he pulled in at the peak, and there was a lot of chandeliers, a lot of mist and water coming down on the wave face. Made it look like it was going to be really tricky to exit, but he did come out clean and followed it up with a limp maneuver. Let's check it out here.
Yes.
So he pulls in. He's deep on this section, Manny. Gets a solid barrel, and there he just scoots out underneath it, gets a little Cheerio chop claim. And now a nice roll there for Joshua Bergetti-Kirkman.
So I heard the scores coming down the pipeline. It sounds like it was in the 7-point range. That will get him closer into that advancement mark. Alex Uranga still looking solid. There it is. Josh Kirkman's last wave, 7.75. 7.75. So Pierre-Louis Casas now better be careful because you have Joshua Kirkman in your rear view mirror. He's coming up hot.
He's coming in hot. And I heard he was even asking his mates down in Oz to give him requests for maneuvers. Put in your request, and he's
No,
going to
he
perform
didn't.
it. He did,
No,
and
he
he's thinking
didn't.
about pulling a reverse roll.
No, he didn't. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have some situations out in the water. It is Josh Kirkman now coming in hot, trying to get into that second or first place advancement. Woo! 30-minute heats. Top 2 riders will advance on. Thank you all for tuning in from all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. This is Flopos out in the water. PLC dropping in. Looking for that speed line. Finds it, and a backflip of slow motion. Everything seems to go slow motion on the maneuvers once it gets into that 6 to 8 foot range. Alex Uranga, not much there. Priority has changed now with the first priority going into the hands of Eder Luciano. Second priority, PLC. Alex Uranga with third, and Josh just making his way back out into the lineup. Uh-oh. You saw Alex ducking that one. Is he going to get caught inside?
He's going to receive a pretty solid beat down here.
Oh, my. Alex Uranga on the inside, but on the outside, it looks like
Joshua Kirkman.
Josh Kirkman on a bomb of a wave. Trying to set it up. He goes for a lip maneuver right there. Rolls it over. And cuts out of that. So one of the biggest waves ridden of the morning or in this heat. Josh Kirkman. Woo. That will definitely help him get rid of that 2.25 and possibly knock out PLC from that second place position.
But now PLC is in the lead. 6.25 and a 6. So with the strength of his last backflip, PLC looks to move into the first. And now Josh Kirkman leapfrogs and moves into the lead. So Pierre back in a second. Alex now in the third. Joshua Brigitte Kirkman having the run of his career here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. And definitely is feeling the flow, his return to competition. I think let's just take a look at this guy.
Look how big this wave is.
This wave was massive, and it give him some credit for pulling that roll where he did. Wow. Wowzers. Booyah, as they say in the announcer's booth from Alex Leon.
So Josh Kirkman coming in strong right there. Now currently in that first place spot. Alex Uranga needing a 6.26 for first place. Eder Luciano waiting patiently.
And on the outside, in white, Eder Luciano kind of out of sorts. Eder Luciano has got a pair of 3.25s, yet to really capitalize on anything, but he has first priority.
5 minutes. 5 minutes remaining in this heat.
And he's up and riding now. No, this is PLC, sorry. And he's out of the wave really quickly.
Wow, Josh Kirkman pulling out all the stops in the last few minutes of this heat.
I tell you, I can't wait to get another interview from Joshua Brigitte Kirkman. If he's able to win this heat and sit down there with Begonia, I can't wait to hear what's going to come out of the Blue Star Cadet's mouth, because he's just a riot. He's a very intelligent fella and quite humorous and witty, even though he pulled a pretty dry joke on his first interview. But that was just kind of warm people up, get them used to his humor, I think. We got some sets rolling in. Just a few minutes left in this heat, Manny, and we've seen tons of action.
4 minutes remaining in this heat. Wow, what an interesting change of events here in the last 5 minutes or so of this heat. Josh Kirkman leapfrogging straight into that first place spot. Now Alex Uranga is in the hunt for a 5.76 for second place. And you can see on your screen a 6.26 is what he needs for first place. But first and second in this round are the ones that will advance on into the next round. Alex Uranga, again, needs a 5.76. Eder Luciano, he needs some very big scores right now. A 9.01 for second place and a 9.51 for first place. And you can see right now he's sitting with priority. So any wave that rolls through will be his decision to take it or not, or to let it go.
And looks like he's paddling on this one. Eder Luciano up and riding. White jersey, white fins, coming around the section, throwing a little carve off the top. This is looking like it could shape up to be another 3.25, Manny.
Oh, no.
Because I don't see much ahead of him. He continues to work his way in, and boy, not a lot on offer. It's not going to stop him from pulling a pretty big roll there.
That's
at
pretty
the
close to the
inside.
rocks.
He does pull it, so that was complete. That'll be his best wave.
Well, he had to do something, even though he rode it all the way to the end. He has less than 5 minutes to get all the way back to the peak and try to produce another high-scoring wave. If not, then he's going to call this the end of the road. Here we go, up and riding, Alex Uranga.
He's paddled himself way inside to catch a right off of the left-hand peak.
Whoa!
Goes up and throws a nice invert there. Came down with the wave. I don't think he's going to pull it. PLC is on the back of this one, and he's motoring in tons of speed.
Oh, my
Nice
goodness.
big invert.
Can he pull it?
And he does.
Oh,
and he
my.
does, Manny. So it does look like PLC is probably going to be moving into the lead on the strength of that last invert. But out the back, Joshua Brigetti Kirkman's got a few minutes. If he can dish that 5-point ride, he might be able to leapfrog PLC once more.
Wow. All right. Big shout out to Nunito in Portugal watching the live feed. And let me click on this photo right here. Oh, my gosh. You had to torture me right now, didn't you? Nunito sending a photo with a pastel de nata and watching the live feed. You son of a gun. Make sure you buy me a gift certificate. I'll pay you back for 55 pastel de natas when we head over to Portugal in October. So there we go. I hear some scores being shouted out behind me. So we got scores dropping with less than a minute to go. Just keep an eye on your screen. Wow. Severe wave exchanges going down.
8.25 for PLC's invert, and it looks like a 6-point ride for Joshua Brigetti Kirkman. So those two riders are doing pretty awesome.
is
It
that
does
the
look like
APB app?
PLC is in the lead now. PLC
Wow.
and Joshua looking really good to advance out of this one, and it's desperate times for Alex Uranga as he's put it on the line and has come up short this time.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the heat. And yes, it is PLC winning that heat in the last few minutes, and Josh Kirkman holding on to that second place advancement mark. Unfortunately, Alex Uranga and Eder Luciano, that is the end of the road. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more action from round number 3 right after this. Oh, no, they're going to help me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 2017 Arica Chilean Challenge. Beautiful commercial there about the Municipalidad de Arica. Beautiful city here, tons of culture. But out in the water, we've got amazing action. Continues to be really intense, and a lot of big names dropping out of the event. And we want to get right into it because there's a huge name out in the water that Hilda Houston's looking out for. It's her son, Jared. Let's get right out into the action and see what's going to happen with the Tour points leader, Jared Houston, here in heat number 4. He's taking on Matias Diaz, Miguel Rodriguez, and Joshua Toledo. So 2 Chileans, a Peruvian, and a South African.
That's right. So in the red jersey, the South African Jared Houston. In white from Chile, Matias Diaz. In yellow, Miguel Rodriguez from Peru. And also in the black jersey from Chile, it is Joshua Toledo. And every time I say Joshua, for all the Americans, you're used to saying Joshua, but the Chilean, Joshua. So 2 Chileans, Joshua and Matias, going against the Peruvian, Miguel Rodriguez, and the South African, Jared Houston. Epic conditions have been given to us all day today. And all the riders haven't let us down, especially with a 10-point ride from the one and only Jacob Romero. Huge air reverse.
Yeah, that air reverse was insane. Super cool to see. Just absolutely loved it. Everybody on the beach was just eating it up. So
all right, looks like we do have the interview ready with the winner of the last heat with Begonia. Begonia, take it away.
Thank you very much, Manny. With here with Pierre Lucas, who managed to change the situation on the very last minute. Pierre, you were just saying that it's really hot out there. It's really big. What can you tell the people about it?
Yeah, I mean today is solid. The swell hit Arica like expected, and it's all about like kind of a one option thing in the water. You have to catch the rides today. I know people later will probably go left, but probably like wait for like a special occasion to do it. But yeah, it's very, very difficult today.
Well, congratulations, you did great out there. So you want to say hi to someone?
Sim, quero mandar grande beijinho ao meu amor que está a ver o campeonato com o meu bebê. I love you, and I just hope to do good for you.
Well, congratulations, and we'll go back to the action. Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you, Begonia and PLC, for that great interview. You could see in PLC's map that he was still kind of a little rattled. He's still taking this event super seriously. He always does. You know, when he enters an event, he's in it to win it. And you could just tell on his map that he was still just kind of bewildered about the transpirings of that event. Let's take a look at Miguel Rodriguez, the Peruvian, up and riding on this one. He does find a roll, forces it through the lip, and that was pretty cool from Miguel Rodriguez. It'll at least get him started on the board. Jared Houston out the back. He's got a ton of speed, man. He's got a huge section ahead of him. What's he going to do? He punches up a cool, fun invert, lands it clean. He's going to be looking to put himself in a solid position starting off in this one.
That was pretty insane. That was really solid right there from Jared Houston. Coming out with a ginormous air. Again, 30-minute heats. Top two waves are scored. The sum of those two waves will give that rider a total points. The top 2 riders with the 2 highest scores in this heat will advance on to the next round. 3rd and 4th place, unfortunately, see you later, alligator. That is the end of the road for you here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. Here's another look at Jared Houston, the South African. Big invert right there. Just a little mistiming for... He had to punch through the lip just a little bit, but still was able to get some projection out and pull off the invert perfectly. So Jared Houston on the board with the highest score so far of the heat. Shout outs are coming down the pipeline. The way you're going to be able to get a shout out, go to our APB Facebook page and look at this out the back.
We've got a big ride from Matias Diaz. He's up and riding. Whoa, he's just planing pretty lackadaisically on this one as he waits for a section to approach. He's just going to continue skipping down the wave face and eventually does find a nice roll on the inside. Massive, massive waves out the back, Manny. Oh, wow. So you got some Facebook, homeboys?
Yes, we do. We have, from the bottom, we have Intricate Shockwave Bodyboard Surf Co. What's up, boys? Tuning in from Queensland. Big shout out to everybody watching. Alejandro in the Canary Islands, Enrique and PR. RJ Clayton. Oh, man, I miss you, brother. I'm sure Steve Action Jackson and I giving you salutes and best wishes coming in from North Carolina. RJ. Black Moses in Morocco. We got Pedro in Portugal. Daniel in Australia.
JJ Atkinson also tuning in from Australia, from Newcastle.
I think it's J.I.
JJ. J.I.
Casey in Cornwall, UK. Joao tuning in from Porto, Portugal. Joshua Romero in Maui. What up?
With the Jacob B with the 10-point twirler.
And Kevin in Manhattan Beach, California. Extended roll right there from our rider in white. That is Matias Diaz. And with that score, he will go straight into second place. Shane Gasso and all the boys from VBC are watching. Am I pronouncing his name right? Shane? I'm going to say...
Oh, yeah.
Shane Gasso. All right, Shane, thanks for the thanks for tuning in. Morgan in the UK. And Ben has been tuning. He's going to be in our top tier.
Cleggy's in there. He's so consistent.
And last and not least, Mumbles, Dion Meyer in Cape Town, South Africa, tuned in as well. I'm sure rooting for a fellow South African. Jared Houston, who is currently out in the water right now with the lead. Again, thank you all for tuning in, and I will be posting on the APB Tour Facebook page where you at and where we are in the contest. All you got to do is comment on the location where you're tuning in from, and we'll go down the list and give the shout out. So thank you all for tuning in from all over the world. See, Dave Hubbard and Manny V giving you the live feed from some incredible conditions here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. Man, Mother Nature has been good to us. And you know what? This is one of the most consistent breaks on the planet. And on the tour, pretty much on cue as far as sending us waves during the contest window. And the only bad thing is around 1 or 2 o'clock comes around, we do get an onshore wind that does have a pretty consistent pattern as well. But you never know. This is Mother Nature. She's never predictable.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, too, is we can get a breeze kick up 5 to 10 knots and have no impact on the water surface. Like right now, the winds are actually breezing onshore, and we're not seeing an impact to the water surface. It actually does take a bit more for chop to get cropped up. Let's take a look. We got a paddle here. Miguel Rodriguez firing down the line on this one, and he's hoping for a section. Will he find one? He's got a ton of speed, and he just burns past this whole wave and decides to cut out.
We've been seeing a lot of that this morning. The riders are dropping in on the right, huge bottom turns on the takeoff, and then they try to line up these inside sections, which may or may not line up for them. And you saw right there, Miguel Rodriguez was just sitting and waiting, and nothing formed up for him to do either a barrel ride or a lip maneuver. and you're going to see a lot of these low-scoring waves come through.
Yeah, kind of a trend, but we have been seeing another trend, which is solid scoring rides. So it's kind of a two sides of the coin. Some of these waves, riders don't find a section, and sometimes they do.
Jared Houston looking solid with that 6.75. Miguel Rodriguez, wait a second, who's this dropping in? First wave of Joshua Toledo. Look at this, clean bottom turn, finds a lip maneuver and pulls off the roll, just holding on tight, trying to make the landing. And he's able to come down to the face of the wave, throws a spin right there. Joshua Toledo holding on for dear life when he lands that through the lip roll.
Matias Diaz tried to get onto this right-hander out the back, could not, leaves Jared Houston out the back. And this is a solid one, Manny. Whoa, it's catching now that Matias had paddled for that one. He's inside for this, catches that one on the cranium.
Oh, no.
He had to bail his board. He didn't even dunk it, just did the old up and down.
Getting caught inside is not what you want to do, which means getting caught inside, for those of you that are watching, that means being on the inside part of the wave, in front of the wave when the big waves come in, and you don't want that. Again, thank you all for tuning in from all over the world. Please get the word out. Let them know we're live with some incredible action here at the Arica Chilean Challenge. Solid conditions, pumping 6 to 8 foot, occasional 10-foot waves rolling in. The lefts are barreling and the rights are barreling. Some of them are barreling on the outside and then coming into an inside section. But yeah, only one taker so far on the lefts. Alex Uranga didn't get the perfect left-handers, but was still able to get some points. The only thing about taking a left is you're subject to getting caught inside and getting pounded if some of the big sets start rolling in. So lefts are better, solid and hollower, but they're few and far between, but you also risk getting caught inside.
So high stakes here, a lot on the line at the Arica Chilean Challenge, life and limb, but people are really putting that to the side and going for the big points that are on offer, as this is a Grand Slam event, and for the riders who want to put themselves in a position to make a run at the title for the APB Men's Tour in 2017. They're looking for a solid finish, maybe even a win here. So that's what these riders are really gunning for. And it's been pretty exciting thus far, Manny.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get something ready, get the shout-out list ready. So right now, I'm going to post something on our APB tour and give the shout-outs in the next heat. But now's the time to check out our APB Facebook page. I'm going to ask, where you at? And put down the heat.
Is there a font that can capture the voice that you just asked that in? Or is that bold and italics? Or what was that? That was a crazy voice. I'm glad you don't use that voice all the time.
The font name is called Loud Grumble.
Le Grumble.
McGruber. All right, round 3, heat 4. Where you at? Posting on the APB Tour Facebook page right now. I can only get through so many, so the first few are going to get the shout-outs. So now's the time to check out our APB Facebook page and make sure you follow. And, yeah, we'll get situated with our Facebook shout-outs in our next heat. But right now, heat number 4, out on the water, half-hour heats. Jared Houston, Miguel Rodriguez looking very comfortable. But, man, it slowed down just a little bit as far as the wave exchange. Jared only has one wave. Joshua Toledo and Matias Diaz also only have one wave.
Oh, we might have a taker here, Manny. We've got a paddle. Matias Diaz did make it back out into the lineup. And he's up and riding on this big fat shoulder. It's maybe going to shape up on the inside. Boy, he's got a ton of speed now, and just a nice swooping carving reverse. Out the back, Jared Houston on a bomb. There, nice cutty speed check. Gets into the pocket, comes out of the white water. Now he's stalling, forward 360. and maybe even a
What?
cute little flip-a-do on the side of that one. And hard to say if that was completed because I think the rotation just put him off the back of that wave. Either way, fun to see one of the best riders in the world tackle El Flopos.
El Flopos, the name of the wave here on Isla Alicran, Scorpion Island. Back in the day, this was the island where the pirates of the Pacific stashed their booty and came back to recover it and head into the local saloons here in Arica.
Pre-saloon days, I think they're stashing their treasures, but no, possibly. I think they brought the saloon, actually.
Probably. They are refurbishing some of the buildings here. Not refurbishing. What's the word?
They're kind of trying to make this less saloon-like because as it is, people used to come out here to imbibe in aftermarket beverages late at night when all the saloons did close, but they have closed off the island. Access to the public vehicularly is prohibited. Let's take a look at this.
Jared Houston coming off the bottom, a check turn. Pretty much the standard right now on these rides and able to get a little pocket ride, but regains his line right here. You can see him stalling and goes into a spin on the bottom of the wave, which pushes him towards the top. And look at right here, big backflip. But you're right, I think that may have launched him on the backside of the wave. It may not have come in as a completed maneuver, but a 3.40 is what the judges are going to give him for that ride. So Jared Houston holding steady in that first place spot.
So,
wow, Cafe Del Mar.
Oh, the food
my
there and the
goodness.
desserts, Manny.
Let us know if you're getting too tired of us talking about the delicious cuisine here in Arica because it's off the charts. I think the other day I ordered a salad, chicken Caesar salad. I think there was maybe 4 pieces of lettuce in the chicken Caesar.
And 4 breast fillets of chicken.
It was so delicious. Now
A
the salad
whole
was proper.
chicken and 1 leaf of lettuce shredded into 4 parts.
That's what it kind of felt like, but no, there was
It's
tons
super
of lettuce.
tasty, though.
Tons of lettuce, but yeah, a ton of
Croutons.
goodness on top of that too. I think I'm gonna go for that tonight. But yeah, and Casa Beltran also providing breakfast for the riders and staff in the morning, and Cafe Del Mar with their delicious, delicious food. If you're ever in Arica, make sure you stop in at least minimum one time to grind some of their food. Last night at dinner, we saw the squad roll in. Actually, you were with them. The squad and Dove rolled into Cafe Del Mar as Alex and I were sitting down.
And it's been a nightly ritual for the squad. We roll in, put our order in, start playing Psychosis, which is Psycho but played with 2 decks of cards to accommodate higher than a 5-person population. So last night I think we had 9 of us, and we got 2 games of Psychosis in prior to dinner, got 1 in afterwards. So that's been the